Hi guys, good morning. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're an old subscriber, thank you for returning. Now, a lot of us can tell that the cost of food in the market is skyrocketing. And how much are we really making that we need to spend so much on food? So, therefore, today I have decided to bring to you how to start a garden, even though we have common fears, and I'm going to be looking at seven of those most common fears that we usually have. Join me on this journey as I explain to you. All right, so the fear is I will kill my plants. Guys, I used to be you. There was a time when I used to be so scared of going to a farm or even entering a farm because I always have this idea like, what if I cut the wrong thing? What if I touch the wrong thing? What if it doesn't grow after I have gone into that farm? Now, that kind of stopped me from starting my own farming journey because I felt, well, maybe I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Maybe I will kill everything. But the truth is, there are ways we can actually go about this. Now, I did not just get to this point overnight. I actually had to take 2 years. I think I had to grow plants for like 2 years before I could get to this point. But I was growing them little by little and gaining experience in the process. Now, the first thing I would say is start with easy plants. Now, I know you'll be saying which one is easy plants again. Now, those are, I would call all these aromatics easy plants in the sense that ginger is hard to grow. In short, that thing doesn't need so much water. All it needs is enough sunlight and a container it can spread its roots till maybe it busts the container open. So you can start with aromatics. Maybe plant a little parsley, plant a little ginger, plant a little garlic. Those are easy. You don't need to water them all the time. Just ensure they have enough sunlight and then the rain touches them occasionally. The next thing I will say is mistakes is equivalent to the learning process. You can never ever really learn. You can never ever really learn without making mistakes. So you should be proud of your mistakes. My first year of growing things, I'm so sorry, I didn't have a video of that. But my first year of growing things, trust me, it was chaotic. A lot of things didn't grow. And then I was also impatient. I kept, cutting my corn before they are ready and then ending up with a cob that had maybe just four corn seeds on it. It was it was something else. So maybe just keep learning. Just take as much time as you need to keep learning. Another thing will be to create a water test to avoid underwatering or overwatering. Now, a lot of things people don't know is that it's easy to show too much love to your plant. I put this plant here to be an example of what overwatering can be. Now, this is a container that I did not drill any holes to the bottom of it. And because of that, every single water that you pour into this plant will just remain where it is, nowhere to leak out from, and it's just becoming too much love. Now, this plant has been here for maybe a month or so, and this is just, what am I saying, a month? I mean, 2 months or so. It's been here for 2 months or so, and this is all it has done. And you can see it's even beginning to flower when it hasn't really produced or done anything much. So this is what overwatering can do. It can just make your plants to, become stagnant. But then here, the rain fell yesterday, but you can see that this plant is actually not too dry, not too wet. You see how easy it was for my finger to go in. Now, this shows that the plant has gotten the right amount of water. So, with time, just like I said, experience helps you. With time, you'll be able to know when to water and when not to water. Now, we move to the next fear, which is gardening is too expensive. Guys, I know that a lot of people want to go into farming and then be able to produce, you know, 1 million tubers of yam overnight. But I don't think it's that expensive. All you need to use is upcycle the things you already have. As you can see, these are my yam plants, and I decided to upcycle some empty sacks to produce them. But you see that they're actually trying, they are thriving, they are doing what they are supposed to do. So basically, if you feel planting is too expensive, but yet you want to start, you can simply start by using regular things around your house that could, help you still achieve what you're looking for while you are not spending so much. As you can see, I've made use of broken containers, tires, and so on and so forth. So you can use all these little things to ease the process. Then the fear number three is will be I don't have enough space. Guys, this is supposed to be our family backyard, but as you can see, it's a very rocky environment. So the little space we have for planting is basically this area I'm showing you right now, and maybe this area. But the rock in this area is very much so we don't even plant things that need deep rooting in this environment. But you can see how I'm still able to get the most out of it. You can either decide to use containers or you can erect structures that lift the containers from the ground, suspend them in the air while still giving them what they need. Basically, these plants just need water and sunshine. So anyhow you can find a way to create a way for them to grow um without taking up too much space would work fine for you. You will still get the end product that you desire. Then we'll move to the next fear, which is pests will destroy everything. I used to have this fear because there are so many times I walk to other people's gardens and then I see the case where a lot of plants look like pests have damaged them a whole lot. In such a case, I would advise that create natural herbicide, natural pesticides. Like for myself, whenever I see that the insects, unnecessary insects like caterpillars and the rest, are getting too munchy on my plants, what I do is I create a pepper mixture. I just simply put dry pepper in water, let it sit overnight, and then I apply that pepper water to the leaf. Now, sometimes the leaf can react badly to it like this, but in some cases it doesn't react. So I think it depends on the quantity you spray to the leaves that will determine how damage it's going to get. So once you are able to do this, it kind of chases the plants away from eating your and it chases the insects away from eating your plants. So that you can use natural pesticides, or better still you can do mulching. Now this is an example of mulching, although I would prefer you use wood chips. That's those ones you can get from sawmills, those ones from wood. Now it kind of prevents the grass from easily growing out because it's covering the surface, and these things when they are springing they are really tender. They cannot push up all these heavy pieces. So it kind of prevents them from overtaking or overthrowing the nutrients that your plants could be consuming. Then we can now move to yes, also one last point. You can actually make it a daily routine to visit the farm for 5 minutes. Any point that you feel needs a little bit of work within that 5 minutes, you can just easily do it like this. Now the rain from yesterday kind of brought down this plant. So all I need to do now that I'm in the garden, give it the support it needs while still checking out on others. So this is not even up to 5 minutes. So when you kind of create a system where every five you spend at least 5 minutes in the garden, you end up realizing that you are able to do a lot for your garden without it getting too bad. Another fear would be I don't know where to start. Now, one thing I would say when people say I don't know where to start, I would say basically try planting the plants you know you have easy access to. Like this is tomato. What I do is that once I get the tomato ready now, the first thing I'll do is I'll pick out a few seeds and dry them up and then store them for the next planting season. That is basically just what you're going to be doing. Things that you have access to so easily, like okra now, you can just plant them. You don't need to spend money on seeds. You just pick the things that you use on a daily basis. And then when you grow those and they produce well, you can now decide to sell them off and start getting seeds for other plants you are interested in. Then another one would be, like I said, use containers. Just, Start with containers. You don't really need to put, you don't need to grow cassava or yams, if you don't have the space or the time or the money to start that up. You can start with something smaller, something that doesn't take much of your time or expense. Then the last one will be, what if I fail? Guys, I've had a lot of people ask this question. Ha, me, I'm scared. What if I fail? What if the garden doesn't grow? My cassava last year did well, but I wanted to do more than myself. And I tried to make gari by myself, and I ended up wasting all the cassavas that I had grown that year. Now that was an experience I learned. So if you keep having the mentality of what if I fail, what if I fail, what if I fail, you will actually not get anything done because you'll be restricting yourself from doing what you're supposed to do. But here we are, this new year, we still have not learned how to do cassava. But however, we know where we can, pay them to do the job for us. So these experiences are going to be necessary. You are going to fail. There are going to be moments where you're going to do rubbish, and then it's going to, turn out bad. But however, it's a process of learning. It's a process of learning. No knowledge is wasted when it comes to farming. Every single thing you do will bring about progress for the next step. Now, if any of these fears seems to be holding you back, I would love you to please share your fears with us in the comment section, and I would, create a challenge for us where you get a plant and then I'll be checking up on you on a weekly basis to know how your plant is doing. We rise by lifting others. Please, all of us need to get to that point where we can actually grow our foods rather than spending so much. And even if you can't do it much, at least it would have reduced expenses for you for a couple of months before you go back to buying food in bulk. Then also, don't forget to subscribe for more gardening without fears. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you got on to this moment, I really love you. You are the real MVPs. See you in my next video. Thank you.